This car let me down today. As I was driving home from work, the engine started to stumble. And since my fuel gauge is not accurate, I was pretty sure I'm just running out of fuel. So luckily the traffic wasn't that busy and I managed to limp to the petrol station, barely. Well, to my surprise, actually, it only took 45 liters of petrol, and I think it's 70-liter tank. On the way home from petrol station, car didn't run well at all. It didn't want to take throttle anyways. It was the same symptoms. So I'm suspecting it's the fuel pump that failed. But we are not going to guess. I'm gonna measure the fuel pressure just to make sure it is the fuel pump. Measuring fuel pressure at idle is pretty useless to me. I need to know the fuel pressure while the symptoms happen, when the engine stumbles. That's why I mounted the pressure gauge up there on the windscreen so I can monitor it. Yes, it is a bit dodgy the way I mounted it, but I'm not going too far away. I just need to drive around the block. Ah, it's not the fuel pump. It's something else. And I don't think it's even fuel related at all. It's ignition or something else. And it's super annoying to troubleshoot intermittent problems. And the stumble doesn't happen during short drive. It needs like a sustained load on a highway or something. It needs to be hot, I think. So I think it's not very likely, but just to rule it out, I installed adapter in the O2 sensor bunghole. Let's measure the exhaust back pressure under load, just to be sure, just to make sure the catalytic converter is not getting clogged up. Now we need to take it for a drive again. Nearly 7 psi of back pressure at full load. Sounds excessive to me. I'd be okay with half of that, but 7 psi seems too much. Although I'm pretty sure this is not the reason why the engine is struggling. Well, I was just poking around here, and actually I noticed this battery terminal is all loose. Well, this could explain the problem. I'm installing lock nut here so it wouldn't come loose again. Now, was the bad connection at the battery terminal the problem I was chasing? I don't know for sure, but this needed to be fixed regardless. I guess I should drive this to work tomorrow morning now. I can smell coolant. Let's go home. Oh no, it puked everywhere. Where is the coolant leaking from? In normal conditions, in case of overheating, this cap should release the pressure through this hose and the coolant should go just down there. But in my case, everything is wet here. I can't tell where it's coming from. So I made up this contraption here so I can pressurize the cooling system. That's not good. So obviously that pulley have made contact with the hose. That coolant hose must be expanding quite a bit and then made contact with the pulley. Now here is the damage. Pretty deep cut. And of course this hose is pretty much brand new. And the old hose was in a good condition, but I threw it in the bin. Because yeah, why would I need it if I have brand new hose? I was going through my scrap pile and actually managed to find 2 more. And they too have cut here in the same spot. Well, this one looks to be good enough. I may be able to use it for now. But I started investigating why would this even happen. This doesn't seem to be right. So I checked another E28 I own, and that one actually appears to have smaller water pump pulley. So I guess I should go through my scrap pile and see if I can find another smaller water pump pulley. I found one. Well, not really. I borrowed this one of my good E28. I need to get this one replaced. Need to buy a new one. And it's kind of funny. Actually, it's a little bit sad that my good E28 became a parts car to make this average one, you know, get it fixed up. It doesn't really make sense, but this is what's happening. The smaller pulley fixes one clearance issue but creates another. Now it makes contact with that hose. Need to get clearance here. I think I need to shave this slip down here. Now we seems to have plenty of clearance. Come on. Next, let's see if the belt still fits, or do I need shorter belt? It's good. Lower radiator hose was still leaking. I replaced the clamp. Now let's pressurize, see how it does. Hopefully it doesn't leak anymore. It's 1 psi. So far so good. Now let's increase the pressure until the cap opens. Yeah, that's it. And that's like 1.2 bars. Now I go through all the connections again. I'm very pleased with this contraption here. I get to... Okay. I could pressurize cooling system by just running engine hot, but then I'd have to work around the hot engine and hot coolant. That's not nice. Test drive. Now, engine is running fine and no coolant leaks. I'd call it good. So car is back in the working order. Let's celebrate this moment by doing something less useful. The window switches are a little bit intermittent. They actually work pretty well, but I got the box of new ones here, and these are with illumination. I think that would be a good upgrade. To make it fit, I need to cut this one off, looks like. Oh, the spring here didn't give me enough purchase, so I tried to bend it a little bit out. Managed to break this side. It doesn't stay in very firm. I sandwiched a little piece of foam here between this spring clip. Hopefully that will hold it in a little bit tighter. Not really, it's still loose. I added even more foam here behind the spring. It's better, but still not perfect. I could swap these springs over. These old ones are much firmer. But I don't feel like disassembling all of these switches at the moment. They look alright, but the quality isn't as good as OEM, and I don't know if I can recommend them. I don't know how long will they last.